It all began rather ironically. WEWS was the first television station in Ohio, all thanks to a newspaper. Northern Ohioans had heard rumors about the magic of television and stations that were already operating in New York City right after the end of World War II. But there were no signs that those electronic pictures would be racing through the air around here. That changed in January of 1947, when the president of Scripps Howard Radio, Jack Howard, announced plans to build a TV and radio station in Cleveland. The contracts were awarded to convert the Women's City Club building on East 13th in Chester into Ohio's first television studio, which at that time was being called one of the biggest in the country. It was also decided that the call letters of the new station would be WEWS, the last three letters being the initials of the founder of the huge Scripps Howard newspaper chain, Edward Willis Scripps. Television was something brand new to the company, and they wanted their first station to be a good one. Actually, WEWS FM radio signed on the air first, the morning of November 27, 1947. But everybody knew that television wasn't far off. And as Christmas grew closer, families struggled to install those massive cabinets with tiny glass screens that were referred to as television receivers. The day before our first television broadcast, the Cleveland Press published a special section of the newspaper welcoming WEWS to the city. The pages were a collage of articles and pictures and advertisements, all about what was certainly the marvel of the day. And then WEWS gave Northern Ohio an early Christmas gift that has lasted for the past 50 years. At 8 p.m. on Wednesday, December 17, 1947, WEWS televised the annual Cleveland Press Christmas Party, live from Public Hall, with host Jimmy Stewart. We were only on the air for a few hours that first night, but it was a start. Chances are that more people saw Jimmy Stewart in person in the studio than those who watched it on a TV set. That's because there were only about 300 sets in the whole state of Ohio at that time. But there was an awfully good reason for that. At a cost of $300 and more, plus installation fees, TV sets were just a little bit beyond the income levels of most families back in 1947. In fact, that kind of money could buy a good used car. That was soon to change, though, for as interest in television went up, the prices came down. And by 1948, there were over 10,000 sets in Cleveland alone. Local commercial television was a success, and the new shows were coming on the air at a rapid pace. In those early days, network programming was scarce. That meant that local stations like WEWS had to produce a lot of programs on their own and on a daily basis. Back then, our programming day pivoted around news analyst Dorothy Fullheim, exercise queen Paige Palmer, Gene Carroll as Uncle Jake, and other talents of the day. Alice Weston hosted Cleveland's first live TV cooking show, which even included a few unplanned oven fires over the years. For almost a year, WEWS was the only station on Cleveland's TV dial. And from the beginning, our viewers knew us by the phrase, "First in Cleveland." Ours was the first station in the country to offer a full college credit course that was taught on the air. We were also the first in Ohio to do a live remote broadcast, and the first to do a remote from an Indians baseball game, which just happened to occur in the midst of their 1948 World Series season. Viewers of WEWS TV also got to see the 1950 Browns-Rams championship game. Cleveland Barons hockey soon became a popular show as well. Station management quickly realized that sports and TV were a winning combination. Soon, the WEWS studios became the scene of weekly sporting events, such as wrestling matches, along with boxing and bowling. And then in 1956, growing pains forced us to move from the East 13th Street location to a brand new station with modern studios at East 30th and Euclid.
Howdy, Saddle Pals. This is Old Texas Jim. You know, I used to think that my Prairie Palace was the place. But after seeing this new Channel 5 studio, well, I just ain't never seen nothing that's downright pretty. You know, it's the most modern TV studio anywhere, west or east. Now, you keep watching Channel 5 for this new WEWS. It's coming soon.